Recording in progress. Now we are going to start. Ma'am, we are going to start the meeting.
I extend a warm welcome to everyone present. I extend a warm welcome to everyone present, both online and offline. First up, we'll start off with the business session. I request Vice President Education, Gaurav, to give the updates on the role takers for the next week.
Very good evening to all the masters. So these are the roles that have been booked for the next meeting. The master ceremonies have been booked by Toastmasters Sanjana HA. Speaker 1, Speaker 2, Speaker 3 has been booked by Toastmasters directly, Toastmasters Ismail and Toastmasters Jason. All the other roles are open, so please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Gaurav, is Toastmaster Ujjwal present?
No, ma'am, I'll be doing the VPPR announcement.
Okay.
Okay. So on behalf of VPPR, I have to make an announcement. So the newsletter, they're open for articles. So the theme for the newsletter is gratitude is an attitude. So the deadline to submit the newsletter is 10 September. So feel free to contact Toastmaster Bhavani and submit the articles. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. I now hand over the task to Sergeant Ram Sanjana.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I hear an echo actually when I speak. Prabhakar sir or Lalana ma'am, can you confirm that?
Yes, it was there when I was speaking. It is better now. They have put it off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's embarrassing when I make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes, and mistakes are great opportunities to learn. When I fail, I get so frustrated, I give up. When I fail or get frustrated, I try again using the lessons I've learned. I can't do that, I'm sure. I can't do that yet. I'm going to do it. Keep trying until I understand it. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome, dear guests. Did you notice the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset? I remember reading that mind is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So it is very important to understand the kind of mindset we have. It may be a lazy mindset, fear mindset, positive mindset, abundance mindset, or a growth mindset. And when I say growth mindset, I'm naturally drawn towards one person. She ensures that every address of hers has the previous week's feedback incorporated. Not just that, I remember in one of her addresses, she mentioned how she broke the four walls of being a homemaker and went on to lead Inner Wheel, which happens to be the world's largest women's voluntary service organization. And all this was possible because she minded her mindset. And even today, she is attending the online session in spite of having a cast on her foot, which is something all of us to learn from. So, without further ado, let us welcome our beloved president, Madam Lalana Murthy with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I see a guest attending online, Ashrit Shroff. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us how you came to know about Mekong Communication Club?
Hello, actually the club committee officers. To know about the one of the I'm not the notification platform and are curious to new Toastmaster.
I think we have lost him. His connection also was bad and we could hardly hear him, I think. Sai Priya, can you introduce yourself?
One second, I'll just switch off the light. One light, because otherwise I won't be clearly visible.
Sure.
Sorry.
Ashrit, we could not make out what you were speaking at all. Can you put your introduction on the chat? Anyways, welcome to our meeting.
Am I audible?
Good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and all my dear guests. I am Sai Priya. I am studying my first year college, that is in BA English Honours in BES College, which is in Jayanagar. And I came to know about Toastmasters through my close friend Sureka and Mr. Robinson, the lawyer. I am a great animal lover and a avid reader too. And my hobbies are art, dancing, singing, and a little of dramatics also here and there. When I get opportunity to enact, I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sai Priya. Hope to see you as our members soon because we've been seeing you at meetings for quite some time now. Toastmaster Gaurav, are there any guests attending our meeting offline?
Yes, ma'am. We have 2 guests in the room, so I request one by one to please come over here and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Super. Presently, first in CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. I got introduced. I got introduced
Volume
by
Feel ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
My father-in-law. That's all. Thank you.
Priya Babu. I just finished downstairs. I just feel done here. And I came here about the class to a close friend, Lucy. She is also part of the
Yeah, that's all from the offline audience. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for facilitating the guest introductions. I now request Toastmaster Shivprasad to give the minutes of the previous meeting.
Thank you, President. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1177 held on the 29th of August 2020. The theme was quantity and quality in life, word of the week, abolish. The business session started at 6:32 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Lalna Moon. In the business session, the following points were addressed. The Vice President Education Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned that all other roles were open to the next meeting apart from two speech slots and master of ceremony. Interested members were requested to contact him for the same. The Associate Vice President Public Relations Toastmaster Ujjwal requested the members to contribute articles. The quarterly newsletter theme Gratitude is an Attitude. The articles need to be submitted by the 10th of September 2020. The regular meeting started at 6:35 p.m. Acting Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Ujjwal started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Lalit. The President opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Vijay Obendra. The Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Saranya Prasad, Akanka Toastmaster Vileka, Grammarian Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, and EP Evaluator Toastmaster Gaurav. The prepared speech session and the following speeches. First one, Toastmaster Pavani CR attempting Level 1 Project 1 and was evaluated by Toastmaster Shiva Prasad. Second one, Toastmaster Balaji AS attempting Level 5 Reflect on Your Path and was evaluated by Toastmaster Sandeep. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Jyoti Rao and had the following speakers. I had 9 speakers in total. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Sai Snehal Reddy. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Balaji AS, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, Best Table Topic Speaker, Guest Suprabha Bhatt, Best Role Taker Tab G Toastmaster Saranya Prasad, and Best Role Taker MTV Toastmaster Sai Snehal Reddy. The President closed the meeting at 8:31 p.m., which was followed by the national anthem. Thank you, and over to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiv Prasad. Are there any amendments to the minutes? If not, I will consider it as accepted and open meeting number 1178. American psychologist Carol Dweck says, your beliefs play an important role in what you want and achieve. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you perceive the world around you and yourself. It also influences how you think, feel, and act in any particular situation. It has been found that basically there are two kinds of mindset, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. When you have a fixed mindset, you believe that your abilities are fixed and therefore cannot be changed. You also believe that your talent and intelligence is enough to succeed and therefore effort is not required. On the other hand, if you have a growth mindset, you believe that your talent and intelligence can be developed over a period of time through consistency and persistence and efforts. Your mindset also plays a critical role in how you cope with life's challenges. When there is a growth mindset, you tend to work hard and succeed. You also persevere and overcome difficult situations in your life. On the other hand, people with fixed mindsets tend to give up easily in the face of adversity. I'm reminded about the story of the Sri Lankan cricketer Marwan Athapattu. He debuted for Test cricket for Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, he scored a duck in both the innings and he was dropped from the team. He went back to the nets for more practice and more first-class runs. After 21 months, he got a second chance to play Test cricket once again. This time, he tried harder, but then again, he could score only 0 and 1 in the 2 innings. He was again dropped, obviously, and he went back to the grind. He made tons of runs in first-class cricket, but somehow success in Test cricket eluded him. After 17 months, opportunity knocked yet again. And this time too, he scored zeros in both the innings. The selectors did not want to give him a second chance, as they said that he lacked big match temperament. Undaunted, Marwan continued his practice in cricket and continued to have hope. After 3 long years, he again got the opportunity to play Test cricket. This time, he came good and made runs. There was no stopping him thereafter. In fact, he made more than 5,000 runs for Sri Lanka, which included 16 centuries and 6 double hundreds. And he was also made the captain of the Sri Lankan team. All this despite the fact that he could make his second run in Test cricket after 6 long years. Dear Toastmasters, if Marwan had had a fixed mindset, he would have given up on cricket and changed his profession. And the cricketing fraternity would have lost out on a great cricketer. Because of his growth mindset, he took up the challenge, continued to persevere, and chased his passion. So, dear Toastmasters, if you are stuck with a difficult task or in any tough situation, don't give up. If you believe in yourself, have a positive mindset, and stay the course, you will eventually succeed. To tell us more about the theme and to take this meeting forward, we have a Toastmaster who has started her second innings in her journey of Toastmasters. Because of her growth mindset, she's been an inspiration to all of us, taking major roles week after week. She's a multi-talented person as well and likes to keep busy all the time. In spite of being an HR professional, she also volunteers as a counselor. Her hobbies are reading, dramatics, and storytelling. Please put your hands together and help me welcome the Master of Ceremonies for the day, Toastmaster Jyoti Rao.
Thank you, President Lalana, for that wonderful introduction. With wide arms open, looking up at the sky, say with joy and conviction, I am receptive to all the goodness of the universe. So says Louis Hay in her book, You Can Lead Yourself. She said the universe has plenty to give us. It is we human who, with our own lackness and limitation, are not able to receive it. Great Toastmasters and guests. Stephen Covey in his habits writes about two types of people with mentality of scarcity and mentality of abundance. Scarcity mentality people with thoughts of greed, lust, and hatred. They do not have their thoughts. They have a or prophets, others. They feel unhappy. People hold on to things and they feel that more feel the scarce resources, one has to compete continuously with his time. On the other hand, if you see, the universe has plenty, abundance of opportunities and challenges. Mentality have a purpose and fulfillment each stage of their life. They have the ability to explore and the yeah, mindset people display and giving had he and invested the amount mindset of creating abundance of peace and opportunities for improvement. Create such mindset, concentrate. The more we concentrate, we think it multiplies. If we concentrate on our business, that will multiply. More, more than by uh, the other is yourself others. Now, competition is that we lack something in ourselves. Change others. What is the small changes that have happened, the small changes that you have walked through to create the growth that you are today? Sudhir Kumar, player, scored 68 runs on 26 balls in his last match against Hong Kong. He said some of his shots were obviously predetermined. This thing and how it decide when you go into that. The third point is towards a noble cause, noble purpose, pursue your passion, and live in gratitude. It's important to see how many people, many time, materials we have. It is time that we give some to others. On enriching our life on public speaking and leadership was Ralsei Smith. He started Toastmasters on 22nd October 1970 in Ana, California. Toastmasters Club is where we meet similar people with positive attitude and uplifting attitude. Today, though it started today we have over 350,000 members in 16,400 individual clubs, 140 countries. Meeting, we have to go with us. PP evaluator, Toastmasters service training.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. PP evaluator, parliamentary procedure evaluator, is a person who takes care or knows the talk about text, religion, or politics. So I request every member to kindly refrain yourself to talk about text, religion, or politics and enter or exit during the meeting when there's an applause going on. And I request everyone to kindly keep your phone in silent. As we have a couple of online audience, I'll extend my responsibility to the online audience. I request all the online audience to kindly keep your videos on. In case you want to keep your video off or leave the meeting, kindly drop a message in the Zoom chat. The theme of the meeting might be mind the mindset, but I would like to request you to mind the mindset and the word set. I'll be giving my report due to general evaluation and follow up. Thank you and back.
We have Toastmasters.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. We are here to improve our speech quality.
Quality measures help us to improve. I'm so an accountant. As an accountant, I'll observe all the features and measure in my way that I note down any overused words, filler words, words used at crutch, and inappropriate interjections such as well, but, so, etc. From steady, and I give my report at the time of general evaluation. Thank you. Thank you very much for that introduction on our founder. Now I have those Mr. I'm going to I will time have paper copies. I want to start, I will silent time to have that using the green card, yellow card. Taking the green card, yellow card, and red card, this is connected by the specific time remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. 1 minute I will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds I will raise the yellow card, and 1 minute and 2 minutes I will raise the red card. So giving the speakers I should limit their remarks to the and for the I prefer it should be 4 to 6 minutes. 4 minutes I will raise green card, and 5 minutes I will raise yellow card. I will raise yellow card, and 6 minutes I will raise green card. We have Toastmaster Vijay Chandra as Canadian.
Very Toastmasters welcome guests. Grammar enhances the quality of communication. As a grammarian, I will pay close attention to all speakers, listen carefully regarding usage of their language, and make a note of good usage and not so good usage of sentences and words. The word of the day is colloquial, meaning informal or casual. Usage is colloquial talents were indeed of the highest order. I urge all the speakers to use the word of the day as far as possible. I give my report during evaluation session when called upon. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Chandra. For the benefit of the guests, a typical Toastmaster session consists of 3 sessions. The first one is the prepared speech, where the speaker is given ample time according to guidelines to choose their own topic. The second session is the table topic session, which is the most exciting session. The table topic master is call the speaker randomly and on the spot as an impromptu, and the speaker has to respond in 2 minutes. The third and final session is the learning session, which is the evaluation. So let's jump into the first session. Our first speech of today is an icebreaker speech. Evaluator Toastmaster Shalini, please give the speech. A very good evening to all the Toastmasters and dear guests. The speaker is attempting level 1 project 1 purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to and learn basic structure of the speech. Note to the evaluator, this member is completing his or her first speech in Toastmasters. The goal of the evaluation is to give the member effective evaluation of his or her speech and delivery time. Because the ICP is the first project in a member complete,
You may choose to use only the note section of the numerical score. All the cases and back to you. First one to Shalini. Speak of what she has to say about the
You know how they say that when you're nervous, there are butterflies in your stomach. I just like to note here that the entire butterfly clan moved here right now. It was the night after Deepavali, quite late into the night actually. There was a young couple at the maternity hospital. The mother-to-be had been in labor for over 40 hours. You can imagine. Now she had some complications, so the doctor was trying to avoid a C-section, and therefore he had given her injections to try and induce labor, but to no avail. Around 43 hours into labor, the nurse notices that there is no heartbeat. She cannot feel the baby's heartbeat. So she runs and gets the doctor. The doctor agrees with her assessment and decides to do an emergency C-section, even though it's risky. He tells the father-to-be that he's going to do this, and he gives him the realistic expectation that the baby could be delivered stillborn or not breathing. As the father-to-be was sitting outside, he did not know what to expect. However, nature has its own selection process, as you know. So many, many years later, here I am. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, good evening. My name is Lakshmi. I am my parents' firstborn. I have one younger brother. Being the oldest grandkids in the house, we grew up with a lot of love and affection from aunts and uncles, a lot of spoiling as well. My childhood was spent in Karnataka and Gujarat, where my father worked as the president of a group of textile mills. And we lived in a colony right next to the factory. So in Gujarat, in our colony, there were people from Punjab, Delhi, Gujarat, of course, Maharashtra and Kerala. So at a very young age, I was exposed to this wonderful amalgamation of cultures, customs, celebrations, and awesome cuisines as well. Dancing the Garba late into the night, playing Holi with buckets of colored water, jumping into tanks that were filled with colored water, decorating tall eucalyptus trees during the December holidays. These are some really fond memories that I have. So time passed quickly, and I came back to Bangalore for my further education. I am a software engineer by profession. I have an engineering degree in electronics and communication from Bangalore University. After getting married, I moved to the United States, where I got an opportunity to complete my master's in computer science. Upon graduation, I worked there in a telecommunications company for over 12, almost 13 years, mostly in the field of software design and development and project management and program management. While I value my learnings and my skill set that improved at that time, what I really value was the connect that I had with the people there. As you know, the US is a melting pot, so I got to work and rub shoulders with people from different cultures and different countries. And that really had a big effect on my perspective. And it was really interesting how when you work with these people, you get lots of interesting information. So let me share a little bit. In my first job, I was in a group of 5 developers. So 5 of us from 5 different countries: Vietnam, China, the US, India, of course, and Iceland. So when we would sit down together for colloquial conversations, we would learn really interesting things about one another. Let me share a few things. The girl that I worked with from Vietnam had come to the United States when she was 9 years old. Her father was a political prisoner in Vietnam. Some of you may know the history about the Vietnam War. So he was in jail in Vietnam and had escaped. and had literally fled the country with the clothes on his back and little belongings, taken his family in a boat. And they had endured many days of starvation and hardship and reached the shores of the US, where he had been granted political asylum. Now, she was 9 at the time. So what a unique life experience for that 9-year-old girl, don't you think so? From my colleague from Iceland, I learned that there is a real uniqueness to the last names of Icelandic people. I don't know if some of you know. Let me illustrate with an example. So let's say there is a person from Iceland. Let's say his name is Bjorn. Now, if Bjorn had a son, the last name would be Bjornsson. And if Bjorn had a daughter, the last name would be Bjorn's daughter. It is spelled Botttir, daughter. So I find it really interesting that two kids who share the same set of parents now will have two different last names. So the daughter will have Bjorn's daughter, the son's last name will be Bjorn's son, even though they have the same mother and father. Very interesting. And also, get this, in Iceland, you have pizza with shark toppings. Really, shark toppings. Apparently, because maybe in the seas around Iceland, sharks are aplenty. I don't know. Anyway, so my husband also works in the software industry. We have 2 children. As the children started to grow up, walk and talk, as kids tend to do, we realized that they were missing out on a big part of their upbringing, which was the love, care, and the spoiling that only grandparents can provide. That was not available to us in that country. Of course, we had the regular phone calls and we would visit and they would visit, but it's really hard to establish an emotional connect over the phone and just 2 weeks visit once in 2 years. I was fortunate in that my husband shared my views as well. So we made a decision to move back to our hometown, which is Bangalore. It was an interesting move. It was also challenging, a little bit of a emotional roller coaster at times, but because of the support and help of family and friends, we were able to make it work. That was more than a decade ago. So when I look back upon that decision, and when I see my children growing up with their grandparents, I feel that we made the right decision. I feel that they are emotionally stronger because of the decision that we made and because of the support and love that they had growing up. So I was happy. I'm really happy that we made the decision. Now, career-wise too, it was not a bad decision for us. When we came back, my husband and I incorporated a software services initiative where we took on contracts and we delivered projects. So it was very interesting to be an entrepreneur for a few years. Later on, we decided that it was time to go back to the corporate world. And so we went back to employment. I took a break for a few years because I wanted to get my children through high school and so on. My kids are sort of grown up. I don't know if kids are ever grown up in their parents' eyes. But my daughter just started law school and my son is contemplating a career in finance. So all the best to him. And I am trying to come back to work with, trying to use my skill set and where I can find a place where I can contribute meaningfully. So as far as hobbies are concerned, like most of you Toastmasters, I like to read. Hindustani classical music is my favorite. I listen to it quite regularly. I play the veena a little bit. I am not a good player by any means. I don't like to play classical. I try to learn how to play old Hindi movie songs on the veena. I'm not really good, but I enjoy it. So I do it. So there you have it. That's me in a nutshell. And as I begin this journey of Toastmasters with all of you, I hope to cultivate a good growth mindset of learning and growing with all your support. A big thank you to my mentor, Toastmaster Bhavani, for all her feedback and help. Thank you all for listening. And I leave you with a small quote since today is Teachers' Day. Somebody sent this to me on WhatsApp today. I believe we all work for an income. Teachers are the only people who work for an outcome. So happy Teachers' Day and thanks. Back to you. Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for that wonderful speech.
of breaking the ice, and we have learned quite a lot, not only about you, but different parts of the country also. Our second speech today, the evaluator is Toastmaster Balaji, and I would please request him to read out the guidelines of the speech.
Fabulous evening, everyone. So the speaker today is attempting. Could I go on mute from the other side? Thank you. So speaker today is attempting a project where the speaker is going to give a structured speech with a proper opening, body, and conclusion. The speaker could go ahead with any topic for that matter. The main purpose for the speaker would be to give another follow-up speech, inculcating the feedback that the evaluator is going to provide today. I wish all the very best to Toastmaster Zulekha. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Balaji. Our second speech title is Handwriting Analysis. The speaker is a certified handwriting analyst and a grapho-analytical therapist. She has served two esteemed institutions as a teacher and principal. She loves reading books and enjoys traveling. She believes age is just a number and there is no end to learning. Toastmasters and guests, please put your hands together and help me welcome Toastmaster Zulekha.
What a surprise. When I first got introduced to the science of handwriting analysis, I was shocked. I was thinking, how can a person, just by looking at my handwriting, can tell so much about me? It was unbelievable. So I got so curious into it and decided to learn the science further. But Toastmasters and guests, happy evening. Today, I'm going to talk about the various, I love to share the topic, the main agenda, how our handwriting can be analyzed, what are macro and micro analysis, and also where this science is utilized. Which are the fields where the science is used. Okay, coming to the beginning, the starting, what is an handwriting analysis according to all of you? As the name suggests, something written on the paper is handwriting analysis. So, we mainly require a pen and paper. These are the two tools which are used to analyze a handwriting. Now, what does a paper mean to an analyst? A blank, a plain sheet of paper, what does it mean to an analyst? Any answer, any guesses? It means a whole world. For an analyst, it means a whole world. Here, how the writer is going to write the script on the paper defines how he is connected to the world. If he is writing towards the left of the paper, that means he is somewhere connected very deeply to his past. If his writing is moving towards the right side, it defines that the writer is a futuristic person. Like that, we have various aspects of this margins, the borders, how a person writes on the plain sheet of paper. So further, moving on. So the page is the space. The previous slide, please. The page is the space, and the way the individual fills the page with the script shows the person how he approaches the world. It defines how he's connected to the world, whether he's an introvert, an extrovert, how he's expressing his emotions. There are n number of
details to it. Further, moving, when we write on the paper, it is not the alphabet. We are not talking about, as an analyst, we don't look at it as alphabets. We look at these script as strokes. We have various strokes, the upward stroke. There are 5 different types of strokes defined here. The forward stroke, backward stroke, upward stroke, downward stroke. There are curves and also there are books. As you can see in the writing here, a small book is present. Okay, in that also matters in handwriting analysis. Moving further, when these strokes, where are these strokes present? There are 3 zones here: the upper zone, the middle zone, and the lower zone. Even these zones matter a lot. People, the letters which are in the upper zone defines about your philosophical interest, your planning, your goals, all that we can tell by looking at the way you have written in the upper zone. Coming to the middle zone, which is also called as an mundane area, which defines about your present, your current situations, the scenarios in your life at present, what's happening. It speaks a lot about that. And coming to the lower zone, that is the letter Y, F, and J, all these letters which comes in the third zone defines about your physical aspects. Okay, whether you are a calm person or you are a frustrated person, all that we can tell looking at the zone, the way you write the letter in the lower zone. And all these things, and also the macro level analysis, which includes the size of the letter. Even the size, whether you are writing a small size, a medium size, or a large size, also defines about the person, and including the slant, whether it is 90 degree or more than 90 or less than 90, everything we have to measure before we analyze a person's personality. And especially the variable slant, which is little tricky, and it is considered to be a red flag in handwriting analysis. There are 9 such traits in handwriting analysis which says the person is having a red flag, which is not supposed to be in the handwriting. Variable slant means a person who is writing a vertical writing and also have a right slant, different slants together. So this is very dangerous. If you have it, please make sure you come out of that and follow always the right slant, which is very healthy. Including the pressure is analyzed here. The depth of the pressure when you write, it defines the depth of your feelings, how sentimental or how sensitive you are towards the world, that defines the pressure of your writing. Further, and now today we are going to talk about the microanalysis. Microanalysis here, it is about the letters. All this time we spoke about the macroanalysis, the size, the slant, and all the other zones. Now coming to the details of the microanalysis, it's very important here we talk about the letters. So we decode each and every single letter here. Okay, now tell me, how good are you in listening? What is your listening skill? How good are you at listening? Very good. Okay. There are few filters between a communicator and a receiver. Always there are some filters. We don't take things directly, right? We always, our intelligence comes in between as a filter. We judge when we listen to people, right? See, for example, if I say, Shiv Prasad, that I love you, he must think, okay, why is she telling me today I love you? What is that she wants from me, right? We judge people, right? If I say, somebody, you're dressed well, you're looking so beautiful, you're pretty, she'll think, what is that she's expecting from me? Why is madam telling me like this today? There must be something, right? These kind of judgments comes in the way of listening. So people with such kind of listening, we call them as selective listener. Okay, selective listening, people who write a closed E, not the one with the open loop. The people who write an E with a closed E are considered to be selective listening, and this is another element which has a red flag. Please, if you have in your handwriting, please eliminate whenever you write a letter E. Make sure you have a loop in it. Okay. These kind of people who have a selective listening element in their writing are very selective. They listen whatever they want. They are not open-minded. These people are considered to be a close-minded people. So hence, please, it has a red flag. Remove it from your writing. And also, this is the sample. If you can see in the sample, the person has the box. In the box, you have all the letter E's and it is closed. Okay, this is a sample for selective listening. Next, the very important aspect of any personality is the self-esteem. What do you mean by self-esteem here? It is the value you give it to yourself, right? It is a combination of self-confidence and self-respect. When combined together, it is self-esteem. When we have high self-esteem, we behave differently. When we have low self-esteem, people behave differently. Low self-esteem, basically what happens in low self-esteem, people don't think much about themselves. Okay, they don't identify their potentialities, their capabilities. They underestimate their own talent. Okay, somebody has to always push these people. Okay, so that is called low self-esteem. And here, the T has a stem and a crossbar. Okay, when we write letter T, we write in these different styles, right? Sometimes we place the T bar in the middle, sometimes it is below, and sometimes it is less than the 50%. Okay, various styles. And next, we can see the next set of letters written. Here also, there's a combination of the T bars place. There are various combinations here. Sometimes this also differs. What happens here in this kind of scenario, we consider this kind of writing as low self-esteem. People do not have enough confidence in themselves. So such people place T bars like this as shown in the sample here. And if you see the slide, there are letter A and O, which is wide open, which are very clear. Okay. So people who have this kind of letter A and O written very clearly in their handwriting are people who are very frank and bold. Whenever you ask some opinion to these people, they will give their feedback very honestly, without mincing word, without being diplomatic. Upfront, they give their feedback. So such people are very frank and honest. So congratulations if you have this element in your handwriting. We call this as a frank and blunt trait. So handwriting analysis is there, but what is the use of it? Why do we need it? Where all in our life we can use this? Here are the application. It is used in the recruitments in the companies because the people who recruit, the managers or the company owners, when they recruit, they see the handwriting and find out whether the people are team leaders, whether they can operate individually, they have the leadership quality or not, how they gel with people well or not. All this they will see in the handwriting and then they decide. And also in forensic science, I think you're aware, signatures are very important, how they identify the criminals there. And in career guidance and relationship compatibility before marriage, they compare the handwriting not to decide whether to marry or not, but to have an understanding of the partner or spouse, how he or she going to be in life. And then health in handwriting, this is very surprising. By seeing your handwriting, we can also predict, we can also tell how a person's health, is he going through some health physical challenges, whether he is having some issues with the heart, with the blood, everything can be analyzed. So this is all about the handwriting analysis I have given in a nutshell for you to understand in a better way. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for that informative session on handwriting analysis. And now for the very interesting session of the day, the table topic. Table topic master for today is a BE graduate, presently a happy homemaker. She would love to read biographies and books written by Sudha Murthy. Her dream is to explore the whole of India someday. So help me to welcome the Toastmaster, table topic master. Join our hands together and welcome Toastmaster Mamta.
Hi, hello everyone. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests who are present here. Today is a special day to remember our Teachers' Day is today. Can anybody guess why we celebrate today as a Teachers' Day? Anybody? It's the word of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishna. As a humans, everybody is a teacher to us, and we are students to everybody, no matter whether they are elders or whether they are elders, whether they are kids or whoever it is. We learn many things from kids, so kids are our teachers. We learn many things from our school teachers, so they are also our teachers. And we now, as a Toastmaster Club, even everybody who are present here, including the guests, even they are also teachers to us. And in nature, every living organism is a teacher to us. Example is an ant. We can learn from ant many things. The discipline, when it moves in a line following the other person who is in the front, then it acquires the food, preserves in a hole which it is made for when the winter comes in, to survive with that food. So now I'm taking a role as a table topic master. For the benefit of guests, I'll be giving few topics. So you have to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. Today's the first topic is, what is the bond between a student and a teacher? How it should be? This topic goes to Veerabhadra Prasad.
Very good, Namaskara. Today is a very happy day because it is a Teacher's Day. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishna's day, birthday celebrated as a Teacher's Day. He himself was a teacher, and then he was a chancellor, vice chancellor, then vice president, and he was the he was the president of the Indian House. A teacher plays an important role in upcoming the children. The relation should be, it is like a master and a servant. It should be like a master and servant. Say always, we need to be humble to the teacher. Whoever teaches us, we need to be humble. In fact, we need to respect all. No ego is there. So that is a basic thing that every human being must learn it. One important aspect is, how a teacher plays an important role in our upcoming. In a kingdom, king wanted to know who is the best person. I want to honor a best person in this kingdom. What was his problem? He wanted to honor a best person in this kingdom. Many people came, I'm a doctor, I can put this man's heart to there, I am the greatest. Then the engineer came, I can build a dam and see the people are very happy. And the agriculturist says, I give a food for everyone, I am the greatest one. Then at the last, one old lady got up and said, I am the greatest one. And you're an old lady, what you can do, how you are the greatest? I teach all these people. I teach all these people, I am the greatest to do. Just now one speaker was speaking import and export What we learn in the teacher is the one who gives outside to this. In my own example, when I come from a village, I was not knowing what is the sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. Then I thought I must leave the subject. I approached one lecturer by name Srikantan, who is no more, in AES National College, Borivali. Sir, kindly tell me what is this sin theta? Arre Baba, put a right angle triangle, opposite side, adjacent side, and that got into my brain. My dear friends, I am very happy to share with you. I scored 100 marks out of 100 that one. So that the teacher plays an important role. You need to be a subservient to him. Guruvina Gulamanagadartu, Dariyadana Mukti. Guruvina Gulamanagadartu, Dariyadana Mukti. With these few words, I like my talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for letting us know how the bonding should be for teachers. The next topic is goes to Toastmaster Supit to share his memories of school days with the teacher.
How memorable would your life be if your teacher turned out to be your mother-in-law? Madam Contest, Miss Me, David Topic Master Fellow Toastmasters. I share a very unique story from my school days. Like I said, today I'm married to my teacher's daughter. So my entire school time, I'm revealing the wrong sides of the story so there are no kids here. I met the girl of my life in school. We went on to have a very nice relation the next 12, 14 years, and then we got married. And today my teacher, who was my 4th standard English teacher, turns out to be my mother-in-law. So now, the question that always amuses me is, after seeing me in class, how did she agree to be a mother-in-law? That is something that always runs in my mind. I was supposedly the most notorious, the most mischievous student in the entire class through my schooling. My parents even today remember walking up with me to each of my parent-teachers meeting and say, everything is an A, everything, your marks, everything is an A, but your conduct is always a B. And that has remained on my permanent record. So if I have to go back to my schooling days, I would say I was that fun-loving, mischievous guy who used to finish his classwork first, sit down and help others with their classroom, stand always next to the teacher, be their pet the whole time, at the same time run around the entire lobby. Today when I look at my 3.5-year-old daughter, the first few days when she started her schooling, she was a little jittery about going to school, and she used to cry saying, no, I don't want to go, or I just want to stay home and play. And she said, when will I grow old? When will I grow up and stop going to school or go to college or go to work like you do? And it takes me back to those days when we were thinking, when will I grow up? Until I realized growing up is a trap. You were good as a kid. And that's why truly I think everything is called, it's always said that your schooling are your golden days. You can never go back there. But today I sit back and cherish those lovely memories, whether it's playing with your friends, getting royally belted by your teacher, kneeling outside the class. It's a combination of everything, whether it's your intense discussions or just colloquial conversations with your friends. You realize that you've built a very strong bond, a very strong environment around yourself, and that's what has made you the person you are today. So if I had to say one thing, school is everything that's made me what I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Supit, for sharing your memories of school, as your mother-in-law's memories also. The next one is, this topic goes to Toastmaster Shiva Prasad. In your school days, if you remember the punishment which is given by your teacher, you would like to go.
Hello Toastmasters, Table Topic Master. I don't know if you found the right person to give the topic to, because my teachers would have almost no complaints about it. I was just the same guy that you see here, silently sitting by myself. I was the same person in school, so almost I would never get punished. But sometimes I would get punished whenever my brain would be somewhere else. I would be sleeping away in class. And I can recollect this one punishment that I got somewhere, I think I was 10 or 11 years old. And the teacher the social studies teacher decided to ask a true or false question. Right? She said, I'll ask you a question, I'll ask somebody to stand up, and you have to tell me if it is true or false. So she said a statement, and the statement was obviously false. Right? And my brain was somewhere daydreaming as usual. As soon as she said this statement, I said, ah! So I gave it away. It was false, right? That teacher then, gave me a beating on my hand with a scale and made me stand outside the class. But apart from that, I can't recollect too many punishments. Maybe when the entire class got punished, I would be punished. That's about it. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Shiva, for sharing your experience. The next topic is, this topic goes to Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakar sir. Sir, can you hear me? According to you, what is mindfulness?
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Mindfulness is a being aware of what you are doing, what you are speaking, what you are listening. When it comes to all this, it's, in other words, I would like to call it as Stephen Covey also says about the same thing in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says that being self-aware, it's called self-awareness, and that's about being mindfulness. Mindfulness is that all the time think as to what you are thinking, what are your thoughts. Can you listen to yourself? There is everything in the world is made first in the mind, then outside. Physical things appear much later, but the inner world of yours has to be really be working on something that is we are going to bring it outside. So you have to be aware of what is happening in your mind. That's being, to me, being mindful. To me, further, if you develop on that, the basic concepts of whatever you are thinking, it starts from questioning what is happening. I would like to bring in here what David Hume, the man who, Scottish philosopher, who influenced Albert Einstein, the teenager. Maybe he was around 16 years, Einstein at that time. He gave the idea that it is the mind that gets cheated all the time. It's the nature that gets to do the kind of cheating. That's why today we have Albert Einstein came up with the concept of explaining what is gravity. And he was thinking on that all the time, and he was aware of what was happening. So you have to be aware of what is happening in your mind. Are you stuck with a very minor problem or something profound that are you thinking? This is what Gautam Buddha calls it as observe the observer. That is mindfulness for you. On these lines, I would like to, on this note, I would like to hand over the control back to Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you for sharing your experience. Now, this topic goes to guest Shriya, who is the role model whom you come across in the textbooks, like from kids till now, whoever stories or whatever you have read. So, whom do you think is your role model? Will you please welcome me? Okay, this topic is also Sai.
Role model.
Textbooks, historians,
Table topic master and fellow Toastmasters. Since the previous all topics were related to teachers, I was thinking in the lines of all the memories I had with all the teachers. I would like to share one incident where it actually helped me to show what a real good person means. Not exactly a role model, could be. So I'll lay out this entire story for you. In 2013, one fine day, I had to give my vehicle for service. And I asked my friend to pick me up. Back then I was in Joseph's, it was in Residency Road, and we thought we'll just go together after I dropped my vehicle for service. I dropped my vehicle for service and I asked him to wait at a circle in a signal at exactly 8 o'clock. I did not reach that circle till 8:15. So he thought I've gone somehow to the college. So he left and he went. In Joseph's, we were not allowed to carry our phones. So I had no means of connection with him. And back then, if you didn't have a phone, you basically could not do anything. So I tried to get an auto, bus, everything. That route is basically deserted beyond 8 o'clock. You really don't get anything. The last option that I resorted to was asking for a drop for someone. Thankfully, a gentleman agreed and he took me and he dropped me at college. Although it did take a lot of time because I could have ran faster than he took me, but he did take me. I reached college at exactly 8:32 and they are very particular with the timings. 8:30, the gates were closed. All those days, please don't judge me, I had 100% attendance. And that one day felt like my life fell apart. Because I knew if my dad gets the message or somehow gets to know I missed that class, I would get a hell lot of beatings. I went to the class, like the one each period was for about 55 minutes, and after 45 minutes, they let you inside. So I go inside the class after 45 minutes and I sat there. The teacher comes to me and she asks, "You've never missed a single class, especially mine. What made you miss today?" Ma'am, I had to actually give my vehicle for service. I just narrated the entire story. She bought out the register from there, placed it in front of me. She erased the A and wrote the P. I had no words that day. The way she did it felt like it was not what my father would say or do, but the small gesture. It doesn't really matter for her. It's a single student missing from the class, but it meant a whole world to me. It changed a lot. And this was really a heartwarming and heart-touching moment for me. I must say a role model for me as well. Thank you, and back to you, Mark.
The next topic is any one natural thing, like any bird or a tree or animal or any water, any natural thing. What did you learn from that and what it is? This topic goes to James Edwards.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome guests. From nature, we can learn a lot. One of the major distinctions between animal and human, biological growth and mental growth. As far as the biological growth and mental growth stops at a stage as far as animal is concerned. As far as human is concerned, the biological and mental growth keeps on growing up to a particular stage. Beyond a stage, mind can grow. This is the advantage that we have as a human being. We all have seen dog learns many tricks. Beyond a particular point, it cannot do like a human being. That itself is a clear-cut indication that we have proactively developed. This is one of the major important learning that I also learned from the nature. There is one particular thing we all miss, whether we are having a transactional relationship or a transformational relationship is very, very important. We all have only business relationship. If I have some benefit by talking to this person, then only I talk to that person. Their transformation will not happen. This one particular thing we need to keep in mind. We all have come here to have a transformational phase so that we can grow. We can use our mind, enhance our capabilities. This is the plus point we as a human being have. Thank you and back to you.
The next topic is, as we all know from kids, mother is the first teacher and the best teacher ever we have experienced. So for this, I want to call guest Manoj to talk a few lines.
Hello, everybody. Obviously, yes, mother is the first teacher for everyone. And for me, mother has taught me so many things like, I'm getting, not good. Can you speak? Can you speak, please? Speak. Can I get them? I just think of.
Choose whichever topics you feel comfortable to talk.
Talk about your favorite teacher. Favorite teacher. Back in 2016, I was practicing martial arts, and my guru is Ajay sir, who taught me so many things. Like he taught me like what's the life and like that, so many things. And as sir was telling, and people here were telling, we say Akshara Matram Guru, like. Even if we learn one single word from somebody, they are our guru. But Ajay sir, he has so much impact on my life. Like he is my mobile wallpaper. Like I learned so many things from him. Like how can I say? It's in the mind, like, but it's not coming. He built the confidence in me. I was studying in the 9th standard that time. I was a very introverted person. I didn't know how to like. In martial arts, we go to fights in competitions now. I was very uncomfortable and I was very confident person. He is the one who taught me like how to participate, how to perform in a fight, and so many things. So I'd like to say he is the role model, and he is the person who taught me so many things, and he's the best teacher for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Shishir, for sharing your experience. I hope you all enjoyed the table topics today. And thank you. Back to you.
That was a wonderful session by table topic master, Toastmaster Mamta, and she took us down the lane to our school days memories, teachers, and many more memories that came flashing through my eyes. And now we will have a 10 minutes networking break, and we shall get back after 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back to the final session. The most interesting session, it is the general evaluation session, wherein the general evaluator will tell us about what went good, what did not go well, the evaluation and feedback of the speakers and the sessions that happened today. Today's general evaluator is a very special person. She is a qualified chartered accountant and ACCA. She is currently working with PwC. She loves to play guitar and learns new languages. She is the past president of Nikon Communication Club and also a club coach for BMS MBA Phoenix. I am in awe of this enchanting speaker, and please put your hands together loudly to welcome Toastmaster Ankita.
A very, very good evening to one and all present in the meeting room today. I am taking up a role, any role for that matter, in this club, I think after upwards of 6 months, because I was the president before this and all I did was give presidential addresses from this very place. And after that, I couldn't attend meetings for a couple of months. So I'm taking up a role after a very long time. So excuse me if I tend to make some glitches here and there. Coming to the elephant in the room, the general evaluation session. The meeting started at 6:38 p.m. The delay was on account of a few technical glitches that we encountered, which is, I think, inevitable in a hybrid setup. So I excuse the EC for that. So it's fine that we began 8 minutes late. The room was well set up. I would say, like, we have all the banners in place and the board has been filled up with the number, the meeting number, the theme, the word of the day, the usage and the meaning, making it easier for the audience to go back and see the theme and the word of the day, which comes in handy as the meeting progresses. So a job well done by the EC on that. Next, okay, a round of applause. Next up, we had the business session, which was conducted by our president, Lalana Murthy. The business session had 2 brief pointers. First, we had the VP Education, Gaurav, give us an update on the roles open for the next week. He did a great job by making the members accountable by reading out their names and saying that you have taken up this role, so you better show up. That is a good job done by Gaurav there. I encourage all the members to contact him and take up roles that are open for the next meeting. Secondly, we had the VPPR announcement, which was made on behalf of the VPPR by our VP Education, saying that the articles submission has been opened and 10th September is the deadline. I request all members, please do pitch in articles for the newsletter. It's a very good platform and a very good way in which you can put your thoughts out there. You can exercise your brain and write something down and put it out there for people to read and give their perspective on it. So it really helps you connect with the members of a club through the newsletter. So please do go to the VPPR Toastmaster Ujjwal or Toastmaster Bhavani and do submit your articles by 10th September. Overall, the business session was crisp. It was to the point. There was no beating around the bush. So kudos for that to the VPE, VPPR and the president. Next, we had the Sergeant at Arms, Sanjana HA. Yeah, she's in the room. Sanjana, if you can turn your video, is that possible? Never mind. So Sanjana began her address by saying mistakes are great opportunities to learn. I think that was a profound statement that she made, and it immediately caught on to my attention as soon as she began, which is exactly what the Sergeant at Arms is supposed to do. Kickstart the meeting, grab the attention of the audience, so all eyes are on the speaker behind the lectern or on the screen. So a job very well done by her. She was loud, she was clear, she had planned pauses. I didn't see her rushing through her speech at all. And definitely, she did give a kickstart to the meeting. One thing that I think Sanjana could improve on is she said a couple of lines before she said good evening, fellow Toastmasters. And after she began, she spoke about different kinds of mindsets. So I felt like what she said before good evening and what she said after good evening was not really connected. So I lost the connect with her in that way. So maybe if she could connect her speech so it is free-flowing and not abrupt, that would, I think, help the audience connect with her better. Secondly, her introduction of the president. Now, the president is the star of the meeting. Like the president presides the meeting and literally holds the meeting and the club together, and therefore deserves a very, very glorified and a very magnificent introduction, because you're literally introducing the person on whose shoulders the club is resting for the next 6 months, right? So I think Sanjana introduced the president in a very innovative fashion, yes, but her introduction did not contain who the president is, what does she do, where she comes from, and how is she important. That is something which she didn't say. So like Lalana ma'am is part of the Women's Rotary Club. She's done a lot of work when it comes to voluntary service, etc. She could have gone ahead and said that. What is her profession? What does she do apart from Toastmasters and speaking? So I think that is something that Sanjana could keep in mind from the next time onwards when she introduces the president. She can have innovative introductions, but also you have to supplement it with who she is, where she comes from, and what she does. One more thing I would like to commend Sanjana for is she's not keeping well today, but she made it a point to bring snacks for all of us that we just devoured. And she handed it over to the secretary, and then she's gone back home and logged in online. So a big round of applause. Sanjana for that very, very scrumptious snacks that we had, and also for her dedication to the club and to her role. Next up, we had the president take stage. She very smoothly conducted the guest introduction. We had the guests come up here, introduce themselves and why and how they got to know about our club. And also for the members, the guests present online, she had informed Gaurav beforehand that he will be kind of facilitating the whole guest introduction. So that was a job well done by Lalana ma'am. I think just to complete the guest introduction, I would like to call up Sir there. If you could please also introduce yourself, because you didn't get a chance so far.
Yeah, thank you very much. So my name is, good evening, dear Toastmaster and guests. My name is Manoj Kumar, and I'm from Bihar. I'm like working as a software engineer in publicity segment. My total experience, IT experience is around 7.8 years. So just I was searching how to improve the communication skills. So I have found in many places. So Toastmaster I found is very suitable for it. So that's why I have joined Toastmaster, so that I can improve communication and also the public speaking fears that I have. So I think with the help of all of your support, I will grow here. So that's all.
Thank you and welcome to our club. I hope you enjoyed the meeting so far. So thanks for that. Next, we had the secretary, Toastmaster Shiva, who read out the minutes of the previous meeting 1177 for all of us. The role of a secretary can get very monotonous. I mean, those of us who've been there have done it, we know that. But it is still a very important role, and Shiva has been doing it with full sincerity and full dedication week after week after week. The way in which he read the minutes of the meeting, I think it was flawless. It was at the right pace. He didn't rush through it. He read it just at the right speed. And there's one thing that A.K. Prabhakara sir had told me when I took up the role of the president. I think I've said this a couple of times. He said that excellence does not lie in doing things differently. It lies in doing the same thing perfectly. And that's what Shiva has been doing, an excellent job. He's doing the same thing week after week, but he's doing it flawlessly and effortlessly. Thank you, Shiva, for the minutes every week and today as well. Brilliant job. Next up, we had the President, Toastmaster Lalana Murthy, who gave us the presidential address for today's meeting. She began with a quote by an American psychologist, and then she moved on to speaking about two different mindsets, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And she also gave us illustrations for how a growth mindset can go ahead and like help you in life with the help of the story of a cricketer. Now, I believe Lalana ma'am's presidential address was in terms of content, it was very, very, very well driven. I mean, she had the right content. She had something fruitful that all of us could take home. I think I will remember growth mindset and fixed mindset for a while now. But what I think she could have done was bring about a personal touch by speaking about a personal anecdote, the way in which she believes, is she a fixed growth mindset person, or does she have the the fixed mindset person or the growth mindset person? Like maybe she could have spoken about her own personal experience in this sphere. I think we could have connected with her a lot better. Secondly, I think she can improve on her vocal variety. I believe she said the entire address in the same tone. Maybe she could have emphasized, added some pauses here and there. Like when she said that this particular player was made the captain of the Sri Lankan team, she could have said that so-and-so player was made the captain of the Sri Lankan team. Now that would have immediately captured the attention of all the people who must have kind of deviated from her speech, right? Or when she said, after 6 years, he played in the test cricket again. So that is something I think she can improvise on. And again, I'm being so critical because it's Lalana ma'am, and I know that she can definitely scale up a lot more. But apart from that, she is ever smiling, very composed, very comfortable behind the screen, and she kind of makes you want to listen to her. She's got that charm that she carries even when she's offline or she's online. So a great job done, Lalana ma'am, on that beautiful address, giving us so much content to take back. If only you could work on your vocal variety and making it more personal, I think it could take your addresses to the very next level. A round of applause. Next up, we had the Master of Ceremonies who came here and very flawlessly weaved the meeting together for us. But before I do evaluate her for this meeting, I'm going to first call upon the individual evaluators for the speakers that we have today, starting with Toastmaster Sharanye, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Lakshmi's icebreaker speech. Before you come up on the lectern, were you given the evaluation resources and project guidelines on time? Yeah. Okay. And did you get a confirmation that the speech has been mentored? Yeah. Okay. You can pass.
Very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and dear guests and Toastmaster Lakshmi in particular. Firstly, I would want to congratulate you on breaking the ice so well and giving your speech with such an impact. So can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Lakshmi? I would want to divide my evaluation into 3 parts: where you excelled at, where you may want to work on, and where you can challenge yourself. Coming to the areas where you excelled at, firstly, the title you chose, 2 Countries and a Tale, was very interesting and built curiosity in all of us in the beginning. Great job on that. Icebreaker talks about family, interest, and profession, and this is how we get to know a person behind the lecture, and you excelled at it. You explained about your interest, family, profession in a very comprehensive manner. You also had a creative way of introducing yourself, like how you were born on the night of Deepavali. Every good speech has 3 main important things, that is opening, body, and conclusion, and your speech inculcated all of these. Your speech is very well developed and very well structured, and you also had transitions. You told you were nervous in the beginning, but it did not look like you were nervous at all. You seem to be a confident speaker because you had a great eye contact and you looked through everyone in the room. I could see everyone here connected to what you told, and it is very relatable. The little humor you added also was on point and everyone could connect to it. Coming to the areas where you may want to work on is, after you come here, I would request you to be comfortable, see everyone, take some deep breath, and then start. You had a great body language and great hand gestures, but it would take your speech to the next level if you would use the space more, because it will have a greater connectivity. You've ticked every box of what is necessary for an icebreaker, and you made it difficult for me to find out the areas of improvement. Coming to the areas you may want to challenge upon is, even though you did not see the sheet of paper which you bought here, it tempted you to see. So I would challenge yourself for the next speech to not get the paper, so because we tend to see it. But it does not take away from a great icebreaker you delivered today. So congratulations on that, and all the best for your future and Toastmaster journey. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranye, for that evaluation. As a job of the GE, I'm supposed to be evaluating the evaluator and not the speaker. But I will just make an exception and add on to one point for the speaker. I think her speech felt like a very honest and open conversation, which I just loved about your speech. I felt like you also added the word of the day, and then you also added what the MC had to say about the abundance mindset in your speech. So I think you kind of, it was a very impromptu, honest conversation about who you are. I could see it in your eyes as well when you were speaking. So brilliant speech. And I can see that you're going to make it really far in your communication journey. Coming to the individual evaluator, you did a great job. What we used was a sandwich method where you evaluated her based on what she did well, what she could have improved on, and then again, what she can challenge herself with, and you summarize. So that was a very well done evaluation. I'm sure that Lakshmi ma'am is going to take it back and improvise on upcoming speeches. So a round of applause for the speaker and the evaluator. Next up, we will have Toastmaster Balaji AS evaluate Zulekha, Toastmaster Zulekha. Balaji, if you could please confirm if you received the project guidelines in advance.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Okay. Can you please give your evaluation to her now?
Before that, okay. Yes, I'm on mute. Thank you. So, what an amazing start. This is exactly how the speaker today started off. And that's exactly what caught my attention. The abundance of energy that Toastmaster Zulekha started off with. She came in with full confidence, and today she was 100% sure of an excellent speech, and she did just that. She came into the frame and she went with wide hands open, and she started off with open body language, and that's definitely something I love about speakers, and that is definitely something I would like to congratulate to Toastmaster Zulekha. While she started off on a very good note, I really liked, or should I say, I really loved the curious mode that was created throughout the speech by Toastmaster Zulekha, the topic itself that she chose. And of course, I would have gone ahead and congratulated research, but considering she's doing this professionally, I would just say this is a very smart thing that was done by the speaker, by taking up topics that the speaker already has a level of proficiency or clarity with. We would generally listen to a lot of speeches which has like a storyline, which has like a proper opening body conclusion. And it had been quite some time since we heard to or saw a nice presentation mode of speech. And I would say this was an excellent presentation mode of speech. I personally got to learn a lot from the speaker, and the kind of content that came in felt very rich and I wanted to listen to it all the way till the end. And in between, I was also looking for a book if I had written something, because I want to check if my E was closed or open. Right? So I think things like this, where you're actually making the audience take some kind of action, are the kinds of speeches which really get me intrigued. Now, while I really liked how you went about the confident, the clear communication, there is another beauty in your speaking. It is the simple language. There is nothing more effective than simple, clean English, and that's exactly what you had in your speech. Now, if we have to talk about a few areas that you could have done differently today to maybe take the speech a notch higher, this was definitely a difficult task for me. Firstly, I don't know the exact time that was taken for the speech. I would have asked this like a regular question, but I don't want my voice to reverberate again. I will take it up with the timer a little later, and I'm sure the timer report is going to come in. But I'm guessing the speech definitely shot up beyond the 7-minute timeline. But apart from that, a few pointers that we could definitely look at is the number of R counts and clutch words. I felt Toastmaster Zulekha used quite a few R counts and quite a few clutch words, and you could definitely avoid this if you have a prepared speech or a speech that you have spent enough time with, because there were multiple you knows, multiple okays, and in between there was this time frame of 1.5 minutes where you went ahead with a lot of pauses, which could have been avoided with some extra preparation. So I would also suggest a written script, because I mean, as a teacher, I would like to wish you a happy Teachers' Day. You for serving as a teacher for so many years, and as a teacher, another trait that you would come across is we generally don't have written scripts. But that is definitely something I would suggest you to take up, because though it is 7 minutes, this is compact 7 minutes, and every word that comes into your script needs to be worthy enough or needs to be a conscious word. So I would definitely suggest you to take up the challenge of having a written script where every word is scripted. While you did give a great speech, I would also want you to give another informative speech next time, and also want to let you know, even though it is an informative speech, that does not mean we cannot have some kind of characterization or some kind of storyline. Toastmasters is definitely a platform which is time and again showed us the importance of story, the importance of bringing in characters. So whenever you gave like multiple things like alphabets or like about each alphabet, you could have maybe brought in like an instance. Like there was this one time I met this person, and he definitely looked like someone who had very low self-esteem. And immediately I picked up his book and I was like, yeah, that is why he has low self-esteem. So what happens when I'm introducing characters, automatically the speech becomes interesting. So even if there is someone who is losing out, see, today was a different timeline. Today was definitely a different instance, but there are some contents that can get very dry. And you could avoid such content to go dry with additions like this. And this is something I'd like to see you do in your next speech. Thank you so much. And back to the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Balaji, for that evaluation. Just one pointer for you. If you could summarize your evaluation at the end of your pointers, I think it would give the speaker a bird's eye view of what you are saying, which becomes easier for them to kind of take back and implement. So next time you can probably summarize your evaluation a crisp, like a 30-second, and then you can end. Before I end the individual speakers part, just I would like to generally say a few things. Firstly, I hope all the speakers are giving their speeches to their individual mentors. By mentoring a speech, it basically means you send the mentor your script, you approve it from the mentor, and then you also time the speech, you practice it a couple of times, and then you come up here and give it. Because on a second note, we noted that both the speakers today have short the 7-minute limit. And each time you breach the mark that's set for you, you are eating into the time of the other role takers. You're not just taking extra time, you're cutting down the time that I can take maybe because I would end the meeting by 8:45 now. So I would request all the speakers who will come in the future to please time your speeches, give them to your mentors diligently at least 3-4 days in advance, and show it to them, get an approval from them, and then come up here and give your speech, because for each one of us, time is of crucial importance, right? And also the individual evaluators, you have to stick to the 3-minute time, because every time you exceed the time, you're eating into the other people, the other role takers' time. So please do keep in mind the time frame that you're allotted, and please stick to that time frame. That's a sincere request. I will now a round of applause for the speaker and his evaluator. We will now have the TAPG reports, starting off with the timer for the day. Toastmaster Hamsika, could you please give your report.
Once again, good evening to one and all. The meeting commenced on 6:38 p.m. The business, the welcome by Sergeant Adams took 2 minutes 28 seconds. The presidential address took 5 minutes 24 seconds. The introduction to the Toastmaster took 1 minute 2 seconds. The speaker Lakshmi took 8 minutes 47 seconds. The speaker Toastmaster Zulekha took 13 minutes 20 seconds, and the individual evaluator Shalini took 2 minutes 38 seconds, and the Balaji took 6 minutes 30 seconds, and the table topic speakers time is being written on the board.
Thank you, Hamsika, for giving us the time taken by each role taker, and also putting the list of the table topic speakers down there with the time that they've taken. Please do have a look all the table topic speakers and stick to the time frame, like all the role takers. Next, can we have the report by the counter for the day, Toastmaster Pavni?
Even most of the speakers were flawless, so I'm just mentioning where Toastmaster Jyotirao is 3 hours, Toastmaster Hamsika 2 hours, and speaker 1 Toastmaster Lakshmi is flawless, evaluator Sharanye 2 hours, and Toastmaster Zulekha 2 hours, and repeated words, you know, so okay, many times, more than 4 times each. And then guest Sushruth 2 hours and repeated word like. And Toastmaster Ankita had number of us. Repeated words like so, you know. That's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavni, for your report. Next up, can we have the grammarian Toastmaster Vijay Pendra?
quality of the meeting was really very great. It was very difficult for me to find out not so good usages in this meeting. As far as the good usages are concerned, wide arm open, mentality of scarcity and abundance, living gratitude, noble cause, amalgamation of culture, emotional connect, macro and micro analysis, introvert and extrovert, sentimental, sensitive towards world, intelligence as a filter, open-minded and close-minded, and the not so good days are very limited. Father to be sitting outside could be father sitting outside. After getting marriage, maybe after marriage. Upcoming with reference to context, upbringing, it should be. And the word of the day was used, colloquial was used by two speakers, Supreet and Lakshmi. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, for that detailed report. Can we next have the PPE evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Sai?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me quickly give the report for today. There was no talk about sex, religion, or politics, although there were a couple of walk-in and walk-outs during the meeting. I'd like to make one small announcement rather. This is a hybrid setup, and we tend to take an undue advantage when there's a speaker who's speaking online because they really can't see us. So to maintain that respect for the members who are online, let's stick to the rules that let's walk in or walk out when there's an applause. That ensures that we are all listening to them and they can trust us blindly that we are. That's all for it. Thank you and back to the
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, for that report. A general tip to all the Tab G role takers, before you do come and explain your role, if you could just in a few sentences explain to us why your role is important and how it's going to add value to today's meeting, that would go a long way in kind of helping the members understand why you are here in the room, right? So next time when anyone takes up a Tab G role, please do explain why the role is important and how it is adding value to today's meeting. Secondly, this is just a general thing that I wanted to point out. We do understand that the weather is not really, supporting us these days. But if you have taken up a role in the meeting, I would request you to please try and show up offline. If you have committed to show up offline, if you have initially said you'll come online and you still maintain, that's okay. But if you say you're coming offline and then suddenly you switch to online, that becomes a little difficult for the people in the offline setup to kind of coordinate, right? So if you have given word, please do try to abide by it as far as possible. Next up, the ballots have been sent out on the WhatsApp group. I would request all the members to please go there and cast your votes. I'll just give you all 10 seconds to do that. Okay, I hope you all have casted your votes. We will now come to the evaluation of the table topic master, Toastmaster Mamta. She's not with us in the meeting right now, but I will still go ahead and give my evaluation. Firstly, she had a very brilliant choice of topics on the occasion of Teachers' Day. I think it was appropriate to give topics to all of us on those lines. And she gave topics such that everybody who walked up here was comfortable in, like, at least speaking for a minute or a minute and a half, like a school memories or somebody you look up to. These were generic topics that every one of us could just come and speak a little about. So that was a great job done on her end, when she kept it simple and generic and gave all the members a chance to speak. The second job that she did really well, she covered all the members of the meeting who did not take up any role. So she ensured that everybody in the meeting, the non-role takers, got a chance to speak behind the lectern. So that was again a brilliant job done on her part. And I just absolutely love the choice of topic. She conducted the session flawlessly and really well. A round of applause for the table topic master. I will now evaluate the Master of Ceremonies for the day, who held this meeting together and made it what it is for all of us. She began with a quote wherein she kind of opened her arms and gave this quote by Louis Hay. And I think that was a very, very good way to start the emceeing session, because it was like a kick start to the entire session. Like, you came with that quote and you didn't just say the quote in an effective way, you also demonstrated the quote. So that was a job well done by the Master of Ceremonies. She also had a very content-driven address wherein she spoke about the abundance mindset, and she gave us 3 tips on how we can inculcate that mindset. So the first tip was to believe in the power of the universe. The second was to never compare yourself to others. And the third was to always work towards a noble cause and to live in gratitude. Now, of course, I have made note of these points because I'm the GE for the day. But not everybody is going to do that, right? So maybe the next time, if you want to give pointers, you can give a mnemonic aid. Like, maybe you could give it like BNW or something, so that people can remember it as a small little aid. Okay, like we have a small little mnemonic aid, BNW, where B stands for believe in the universe, N stands for something, W stands for something else. So that could have kind of given a value add and helped all the members kind of remember those 3 tips that you gave them to develop an abundance mindset. Secondly, she had a very good way in which she brought about Ralph C's medley, through the abundance mindset. When she kind of transitioned into Ralph C's medley, that was a job very well done. Even the choice of theme, I think Jyoti had a very good choice of theme, wherein she said that your mindset is what really matters. Thoughts make things, is something I read somewhere. So that, of course, is a very good choice of topic. Also, one thing I noticed about Jyoti was she came up here, and every time she would call upon a speaker or a table topic master, she would raise her voice and she would say, please let us welcome so-and-so speaker on the stage, which kind of motivated the speaker and alerted the members in the room that, okay, there's a change of charge now. There's somebody coming up for a speech or a table topic session. So that was a great job done. Also, she had very good voice modulation throughout. I think I've watched a few speeches by Jyoti, and her voice modulation is just brilliant every single time. She's been taking up roles ever so often, all major roles, so a great job done on that as well. Jyoti, I think you are a brilliant speaker. You did the emceeing session. So the MC is basically like the unsung hero of the meeting. You are backstage and you kind of weave the entire meeting in a flawless and a smooth fashion, and that's exactly what Jyoti did today. If only you could, like I said, summarize your content, your address, so that people can go home and remember it for a considerably long time, that would take your addresses to the very next level. Great job done, Jyoti, and looking forward to hear you more in the coming weeks. I hope all of you have voted for the winners of the week. Great, I really enjoyed the meeting today. It was a very fruitful meeting. The speeches were brilliant. Table topics were awesome. I'm looking forward to more fruitful meetings as such. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and back to the MC for the day, Joe.
Thank you, General Coordinator Toastmaster Ankita, for that wonderful general evaluation, and I'm sure all participants have gained knowledge in abundance and have found the path leading to exhilaration. And over to the President Lalana Murthy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti, for that wonderful session. We had a great meeting today in spite of the inclement weather, and we had more number of online participants as well. When I started attending the meeting online due to my being indisposed because of my fracture a couple of weeks ago, I thought I would be the only online person attending the meeting, because we had a full house meeting for the past month, and it was nice to have company today online as well. We had very good speeches, a very good icebreaker, and of course handwriting analysis was also very interesting. And Mamta had a good table topic session, and which was, I think, well answered by the audience. And an amazing general evaluation session by Toastmaster Ankita. Ankita, it's good to have you back after a long time. We were really missing you here in Mekong. And like I always say, she's one Toastmaster who always inspired me. And she has that electrifying presence behind the screen, which makes you want to listen to her, whether she's a speaker or when she was the president or any role she takes up for that matter. Coming to the feedback, I request our members to go to Pathways Base Camp and give your feedback to the respective role takers and speakers, and please do inform them about it. I hope all the members have voted today and participated in the meeting. As for the winners for today's meeting, the best role taker TAPG goes to Toastmaster Vijay Upedra. The best role taker MTG goes to Toastmaster Ankita. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Balaji AS. Okay, he's online. The best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Supreet. And the best speaker is Toastmaster Lakshmi. I now close meeting number 1178 and request everyone to raise for the national anthem.